This is Camnet News. Thank you so much for choosing us. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. The top stories on our desk: 260 farm fields and schools in Luangwa flooded beyond habitation. Community rail encroached in LUSAKA'S LIBALA area. A newly launched political party condemns cybersecurity bill, demands for its withdrawal. And in international news, Minneapolis agrees to pay $27 million to George Floyd's family. And in sports news, ZESCO United beats KANSANSHI DYNAMOS on penalty by 5-4. Join me shortly for the details.
Zambia, your time of spiritual revival and awakening is now. Once again, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilua invites the nation of Zambia to a 2-day conference on the order of Melchizedek with Dr. Francis Miles. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Dates, 19th and 20th of March 2021. Saturday, 14 hours to 18 hours. Sunday, 09 hours to 12 hours. Make a date with us.
Once again, thank you for joining us. The news in detail. Unknown people have vandalized the railway lines in LIBALA Stage 3 of Kawata constituency, where they have started constructing buildings with structures reaching an advanced stage. The railway is part of the Mulungushi Commuter Project, which is a 13.5-kilometer intra-city urban mass transit rail line in Lusaka under the Ministry of Transport and Communications. And when contacted for a comment, Area Councillor Stanley Kachibe says the structures built on the said line are illegal and that his office has cautioned the perpetrators to stop the illegal constructions. But a check by Camnet TV found that the illegal structures have continued to take shape despite the directive by the council that all illegal structures be demolished. Details on this.
The Zambia Mulungushi Commuter Lane, later named the Njanji Commuter Lane, managed by the Zambia Railways, operated from 1991 to 1998 in Lusaka from the Chilenje Libala to George Township, about 16 kilometers. Following the closure of the railway, bids were later invited by the Privatization Board in September of 2005 for the reopening of the railway lines. This, however, did not happen, and the Ministry of Transport and Communications had in 2011 planned to reintroduce the Njanji Commuter Train Service project, which was about a 13.5-kilometer intracity urban mass transit railway line in Lusaka, currently in a deplorable state. The railway requires rehabilitation and acquisition of rolling stocks. This project may, however, reach a dead end as people have now encroached the railway lines and are now building structures on the land meant to house the railway. The main drainage system in the area is also at risk of being closed as people building the said illegal structures are barring the drainage system in the area. If the situation is left unattended to, floodings will soon be a common occurrence in Lusaka's LIBALA Stage 3. And Area Councillor Stanley Kachiba has confirmed that the structures being built on the railway land is illegal and that those involved have been summoned to appear before the council.
Those carrying out those constructions, those are illegal constructions. And the council is aware of that. They have even been on the ground to issue them with call-outs for them to report at the council. I don't know what's happening now. Those are illegal structures. There's no legal structure there. I don't know them. They are Zambians. I don't know them.
Illegal constructions in Lusaka have been a major contributor to disasters such as floodings, and if the situation is left unattended to, disasters will continue to be a frequent occurrence in the capital city. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
A Lusaka-based shoe repairer has called on government to create a conducive environment for entrepreneurs involved in small businesses like him as the country braces for hard economic times. Bonwell Mugala says despite government introducing more empowerment programs, no improvement has been seen. Mr. Mugala adds that government should ensure that empowerment programs being launched are given to the intended beneficiaries. Miriam Kayemba filed this report.
dropped out of college due to financial challenges he faced. But now this young entrepreneur who started up his own business says government should help its citizens in creating a conducive environment for small business operators looking at the current economic crisis the country has been subjected to. Bonwa Mugala, who studied business administration before he dropped out of college, says it is sad to see how the majority of small business operators have continued to face challenges.
Business, despite when going slowly, otherwise each and every day at least I may have 2 or 3 customers, because my major target here for the clients is initially the students and some other institutions within the area.
He adds that with the current economic situation the country is in, it is difficult to know whether things will change for the better. He says government must do its level best to help recover the economy. He also adds that government, through its empowerment program, must do its best to empower anyone in need of the support rather than being selective.
I'd like to be empowered, probably starting what I'm doing is initially entrepreneurship, okay. And initially, I'm not only based in just to be knitting shoes here. It's just that I've been lacking capital. Because I've been looking to do things within this market. I haven't seen anything that's been running. Things like an hardware and some other things like an auto spare shop. It's nothing like that. So I'm focusing on that. Probably after some time, if I could happen to have that opportunity to be empowered.
Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
A resident of LUANGWA district, Monica Piri, has called on government to help them with startup capital as their items were swept away by water, a situation she says, if not addressed, will increase the poverty levels in the district. Ms. Piri was speaking when Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit National Coordinator Chandakawe visited LUANGWA, where over 260 farm fields and 6 school structures have been flooded following the backflow of water in the Kafue River. The flooding situation has also affected the central business district, making it hard for people to conduct their businesses. And LUANGWA District Commissioner Julius Kasote says there is need for a quick intervention to address the matter before lives are lost. Meanwhile, DMMU National Coordinator Chandakawe described the situation as unfortunate, adding that government will do everything possible to help the affected families.
Kutila ipepo lyasuda kutila mumulungu mwanangu shibiri tuingesa amyasuka kuri ubwafya muchitashani mukwete pakungwele papende mwali limbi tuchishepo pakutila mwambyo kuya pesa pantanji nabatipela impendwa y'abantu pano n'abalemba bali 112 uko twapuka kwa FPP abalemberwe ababundirwe kaina tuishi bano kutira bambi mweba amataba about 500 hectares mwali mamataba nona tashani n'abundwa kanshi ninsala pakati kamayanda kwamba lero pakoyo mwaka ula chitashani laisa pantu buli bwose mu Zambia twelafya mfranga chitashani laisa so mwali bike bifundo mwali akomra bambi fertilizer mwali puka fertilizer ku government mfyaonaika kanshi butekola mu chitashani hukumyako kanshi mbatwasa kuno kwisa miwombera lemene tina munga mwane mwanera abantu wonse bali nkezuko sitigulisa manthemba yali manzi yonse yanangena so pempempe netipempa tipemba boma ititandizeko chifukwa tisunga bana amasiye bana amaskulu bena kusendera ba skulu chifukwa cha manzi so kulibeka nteza gulisa tizisunga kamba ka business yantichita so tipemba boma ititandizeko itiyanganeko kuno kwatu kulwangwa boma.
It's a sad state of affairs there in LUANGWA. In other news, Lusaka City Mayor Mao Sampa says there is need to ensure that trees are planted back in the city as they play an important role in keeping the city green, clean and healthy. The mayor, who led a group of men from Round Table Organization in planting over 50 trees along the Esther Lungu Road, Kawata constituency, says the expansion of roads in Lusaka has led to cutting down of trees, which has disturbed the ecosystem. He says there is need to ensure that trees are replanted to preserve nature. The mayor has since encouraged other people to avoid cutting trees unless necessary, such as the cases of road expansion, but stressed that trees should be replanted after the constructions are done. And speaking at the same event, Roundtable Secretary Brian Chintu says climate change is real, needing concerted efforts to deal with.
Roundtable Zambia and was Roundtable International, we have some broad objectives that we need to pursue. One of them being protecting the environment, and in line with that, we chose to do a tree planting exercise in Roundtable Zambia. We are planting about 1,000 trees across the country, and this is also being applied in Africa, Middle East, and the Indian Ocean zone.
So I've been to widen the road, like Independence Avenue. Trees had to be cut because they were too close. Those days the mayor of the day was lazy, didn't plant. He planted trees right next to the road. So now that the roads need to be expanded, there are too many vehicles, we found the trees are right in the road where we need to extend. So between what we choose, a big tree or making Independence Avenue 4-lane, we need to, for economic purposes, we need to make motorists move smoothly. So we had no choice but to cut certain trees. But for every tree we have to cut in the city to expand the road, we are planting 10 more. So since we are planting 50 here, is it 50? 50, so that represents 5 trees that were cut along Independence Avenue. So I'm happy also we are here showing this road, Esther Lungu Road in Kawata constituency, is symbolic.
The Integrated Community Anti-Litter Initiative National Chairperson Pascal Chikumbi says the government should consider deploying military personnel in Lusaka Central Business District like it did in 2018 to ensure that no litter is disposed of carelessly in the city. Speaking when he featured on Camnet TV's Rise and Thrive breakfast show, Mr. Chikumbi explains that despite government coming up with different programs like the Keep Zambia Clean, Green and Healthy campaign, the majority of citizens have ignored this program. He advised Zambians, especially those in Lusaka, to change their mindsets towards waste management.
Probably what we went through in 2018-2019 when the president used his powers to release, sorry to use this term, to allow the men and women in uniform to come and help clean the city. And it was not just Lusaka, I think you noticed. It was throughout the country. Yes. Lusaka for the very first time started sparkling because of, what the men and women in uniform did. They did a very good job. So if people don't want to change on their own, probably we can try the other way, because the laws of this country under 100 of Chapter 281 and many other statutory instruments within the Local Government Act, it clearly stipulates on how one is supposed to dispose of waste, or what it talks about littering and the consequences. There are a lot of penalties that are there where if you act in a way where you'll be held responsible, then they will charge you. So people don't want to follow that way. I think probably the best way is to use force to ensure that we keep this, the country clean.
In the world of politics, it is exactly 5 months to the polls on August 12, 2021. Now, this means that all political parties have to sell their party manifesto and convince the voters why they should be voted into office. With that said, the list of people intending to appear on the ballot is getting longer by the day, with new political parties being launched, calling itself Zambians United for Sustainable Development. Party President Lazarus Chisela is confident that his party will convince the Zambian people to vote in its favor because of the ideologies it is bringing to the table of Zambian politics. Meanwhile, Mr. Chisela says the country should reject the cybersecurity bill awaiting assenting, adding that it will infringe on the rights of citizens, contrary to what government is saying.
For cybercrime, you can only accept such kind of a bill or such kind of law in a country which has domestic laws which protect human rights. We don't have domestic laws in this country that protects domestic rights, domestic laws, that protects human rights. We don't have domestic laws in this country that protect your rights. You cannot have cybersecurity crime in this country because you will be prosecuted and your lawyer will have nowhere to base their authority to defend you, because that's such kind of draconian laws, they require protected rights. Of course, somebody will say we have human rights here. We have a list of human rights provided by the United Nations. That is a list which we as a country are supposed to protect, and we should choose from that list which rights can we protect in this country. We need to have rights to protect ourselves. We don't have domestic laws. The Bill of Rights failed because nobody explained to the Zambian people that the Bill of Rights meant your rights to be protected. Our rights are not protected. We don't have human rights that are protected here. So that's why I would like to appeal to the Zambian people to reject the cybercrime, because there are no rights to protect you. You'll be prosecuted for anything you put online. They will even write for you something online and they will say you wrote.
Petauke Central aspiring Member of Parliament on the Patriotic Front ticket, Emmanuel Banda, commonly known as JJ, has appealed to residents of Petauke constituency to safeguard their voters' cards as the country draws closer to elections. Addressing party members, Mr. Banda explains that losing a voter's card will deprive them a good leader, as they will not be able to cast their vote. The members, mostly women who displayed their voters' cards, have expressed confidence in the aspiring candidate. Speaking on the sidelines of the meeting, Headman Onje Anderson Banda has fully endorsed the candidature of Mr. Emmanuel Banda as their preferred candidate, urging him to continue helping the people of Mondola village in Petauke.
Komalomba maziva I voters card tenti isunga chifukwa aliwonse hapa hata voters card ni shata ya president na JJ. Chifukwa voters card tingaiweje polini hai kapena tingaiweje kataiga nishi kulia kuvota nishi ni 2016 2026 njepati tikavote lomba kuti tipewe na papata mavoters card tenti asi chiri chonse mufuna chitenje t-shirt kasote lembanani mgrupu letaniti alamine ila chinji listi mutole pano
chitokozo ni lutokoza Emmanuel Banda okufika kuno mmalo wakuno kwa Mondola wakondolesa kote bantu ndipo pano ntokondwera ndipo niko ndekunena kuti ulwendo amene uyapitilije ndipo sawerera kuvuli bantu niwo batemwa owafuna beve kunena kuti ankhala asogoleri kumbali ya kuno kwasu chifukwa zitukuko kuno nizosala ololodi waofuna kuona lokufumira kulusawo kwamene amene a president anganene kunena kuti kuno kuoneka nga kuliye munthu otiyimirira kuno kumbali yaso.
United Party for National Development Youth in Mombwa Central Constituency of Mombwa District yesterday launched the HH 2021 campaign with a call for mass mobilization aimed at maximizing the 2021 presidential vote for President Hakainde Hichilema. Addressing the gathering of youths, Mombwa Central Member of Parliament Credo Nanjoa advised youths to go out and campaign for the party. Mr. Nanjoa said the launch of the campaign marks the beginning of various activities with a view of maximizing President Hichilema's bid to national governance. He has, however, advised the youth to be peaceful as they mobilize the party. You're watching Camnet News. Just now we take our first set of commercials. Join me shortly for more interesting stories.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself?
You know my skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerin?
Oracle Pure Glycerin? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish, you're glowing. Don't tell me.
Yes!
I already know the secrets.
Oracle Pure Glycerin!
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin. Zambia, your time of spiritual revival and awakening is now. Once again, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilua invites the nation of Zambia to a 2-day conference on the order of Melchizedek with Dr. Francis Miles. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Dates, 19th and 20th of March 2021. Saturday, 14 hours to 18 hours. Sunday, 09 hours to 12 hours. Make a date with us.
This is Camnet News. Thank you for staying on. Despite the reduction in the number of COVID-19 admissions and health facilities, 2,722 cases have remained active in the country. The Ministry of Health has reported that the country has recorded 234 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours. This brings the total number of positive cases to 84,404 since the outbreak of the pandemic in March 2020. Meanwhile, 4 new deaths have also been recorded, bringing the cumulative number of COVID-19 deaths in the country to 1,153. Meanwhile, Health Minister Jonas Chanda Friday announced that government has agreed in principle to adopt the COVID-19 vaccine program. Dr. Chanda, however, said the program will be done in a cautious and phased manner on a pilot and voluntary basis. The government has called on the young people across the country to embrace the Zambian culture, as it is the only way to attract foreign tourism. Choma Museum senior keeper Victoria Chitungo charges that culture plays an important role in revamping various sectors of the economy if well managed. Chitungo says this can only be attained if youths trace the roots of their forefathers and proudly speak local languages with confidence. And Choma-based youth Vosta Hanzala has urged the government to build more facilities aimed at promoting culture.
Personal identity is very important, and it's so important for young people. It gives you self-confidence, it shows you where you are coming from, and also it shows what you can contribute to the world through your culture. For the youths, you know, like I said, first you need to be identified, you need to know yourself, but also you should know your language. There are some people who don't even know their languages. The way we dress, the way we show respect, the way we show appreciation. All these aspects are very unique to a particular culture, and Zambian culture has a unique way of doing all those things, and it's important that the youth know. Otherwise, how do they identify themselves as being Zambian?
Toma Museum, they invite the teachers or the schools to come and compete in essay writing. So that's great. Yes, it is very important to promote our culture. You know, like here in Southern Province, people speak Tonga. So the way, you know, those who won the awards, the way they are reading their essays, it was really great.
The Agriculture Technical and Professional Staff Union of Zambia has implored young people to take advantage of the huge employment opportunities available in the agriculture sector. Union General Secretary Joka Mutuma says the youth in the country should not view farming and agriculture in general as an activity for old people, but as an investment. Mr. Kamutoma says it is important for young people to change their mindset in the manner they view agriculture. He notes that agriculture is a lucrative sector, urging the youth to form cooperatives, which he says will help them lobby for support from government and other interested organizations.
Today being Youth Day, I call upon the young people of this country to begin to realize that agriculture is the way to go. Yes, we have mining, we have these other sectors, tourism and all, but the sector that can make us have wealth as a country. You know, people say the wealth of a country is invested in its people, specifically the young people. I throw this challenge to you today on Youth Day, that look at agriculture as an investment portfolio, as an investment that can change your lives. Let's group up into teams, into cooperatives, as young people, and lobby government and lobby stakeholders, banks, so that they give us the money, and let's promise them, let's shame them that the young people in Zambia, given an environment to work, they can produce. Let's not beg. Let's go out there and make the money. Agriculture is an environment where you make money. If you can produce what you can't sell, then you can eat it.
You're watching Camnet News. We take another set of commercials. Join me shortly for international and sports news.
Can I have that meal over there? And I really want that crisp, fresh apple taste from the garden. Can I have happy apple?
I think I'll have my big bite 2 meal with happy waziwaka. Give us your...
Enjoy an appetizing big bite meal with an happy drink of your choice. A meal is not a meal without an happy drink. And now introducing Happy in a can.
You know I can take her a bake.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti on your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, man. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
Zambia, your time of spiritual revival and awakening is now. Once again, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilua invites the nation of Zambia to a 2-day conference on the order of Melchizedek with Dr. Francis Miles. Venue, the Healing Word Ministries International in Ibex Hill. Dates, 19th and 20th of March 2021. Saturday 14 hours to 18 hours. Sunday 09 hours to 12 hours. Make a date with us.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. In international news, the United States city of Minneapolis has agreed to pay $27 million to the family of George Floyd in the largest settlement of its kind in the country's history. Floyd died when a policeman knelt on his neck for nearly 9 minutes, sparking global protest. The officer is said to go on trial, and the Floyd family says the cash payout is one step on the road to justice. In other news, the US, India, Japan and Australia have agreed to supply Asia with 1 billion coronavirus vaccine doses by the end of next year. The commitment was made at the first meeting of the so-called Quad group that aims to counter China's growing influence. Here is a roundup of international stories.
The city of Minneapolis has put a price on just how much Black Lives Matter. In the case of George Floyd, $27 million. That's the amount the city has agreed to pay in a civil settlement with Floyd's family in the racially charged case of a black man who died beneath a white police officer's knee.
I thank the state of Minnesota for getting this settlement taken care of. But even though my brother is not here, he's here with me in my heart. Because if I could get him back, I would give all of this back.
The settlement is the largest ever in a Minneapolis police shooting. It also eclipses the $12 million the Kentucky city of Louisville paid recently in the death of Breonna Taylor, gunned down in her own home by police 1 year ago Friday. A Floyd family lawyer says the beneficiaries go beyond one family.
The financial compensation most directly impact George Floyd and his family, the future of their family. But it is the policy reforms that affects all of us.
Other cities will think twice, he says, before allowing police to use chokeholds, no-knock warrants, and other controversial tactics because of cases like this one. As George Floyd's family reacted to the settlement, the man who knelt on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds was less than a mile away. He has spent the week in a Minneapolis courtroom where the court is selecting jurors to decide if he should be convicted of murder. Derek Chauvin faces second and third degree murder and manslaughter charges and the risk of decades in prison. The other 3 officers will face charges later this year of aiding and abetting him.
Those officers will be held accountable. There is a prosecution team that actually cares and is fighting. And if you need a reminder, just think of the George Floyd case, and that if you don't get policing correct, if you don't make these changes, if you don't fix the policies that are happening, then you'll be seeing us again.
Despite the settlement, the Floyd family insists justice won't be served until that happens.
A virtual meeting with his Indian, Australian, and Japanese counterparts, a group also known as the Quad. U.S. President Joe Biden told the group,
"A free and open Indo-Pacific is essential to each of our futures."
The Quad was formed to cope with the devastation following the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami. But now it's set its sights on a new threat: the rising military and economic might of China. The Quad is concerned about China's growing assertiveness in the Asia-Pacific region and the world.
The United States certainly sees this alliance to stop the growing influence of China, if not contain China, is not dissimilar to the NATO organization, which was started in 1947 to stop the increasing influence and military threat that was coming from the Soviet Union.
As the world battles the COVID-19 pandemic that originated in China, The group also announcing on Friday a new initiative to manufacture and produce U.S. vaccines in India, financed by Japan and the United States, and supported by Australia.
The Quad committed to delivering up to 1 billion doses to ASEAN, the Indo-Pacific, and beyond by the end of 2022.
Climate change is the other big challenge the group must confront. How to push global nations to live up to the commitments made in the Paris Climate Agreement. Overall, China emits almost double the CO2 of the United States, but per capita, the U.S. takes the lead. China responded to the meeting of the Quad, saying exchanges between governments should be to create understanding, not target third parties.
The meeting of the Quad comes just days before the U.S. Secretary of State and National Security Advisor will meet with their Chinese counterparts in Alaska. That meeting is expected to be more forceful as the United States confronts China over issues of economics, security, and human rights.
We now move our attention to sports news. ZESCO United has progressed to the semi-finals of the 2021 ABSA Cup after beating KANSANSHI DYNAMOS by 5-4 in the post-match penalties. The match ended 1-1 in regulation time. Goalkeeper Tostan Sabata saved Matthews Maleka's effort and scored another to help the Ndola side storm the semi-finals. ZESCO joined Concola Blades, who have equally qualified for the semi-finals. Well, that sporting item ends our news tonight. Let's just look at the headlines once again. 260 farm fields and schools in LUANGWA flooded beyond habitation. Community rail encroached in Lusaka's LIBALA area. Newly launched political party condemns cybersecurity bill, demands for its withdrawal. And in international news, Minneapolis agrees to pay $27 million to George Floyd's family. In sports news, ZESCO United beats KANSANSHI DYNAMOS on penalties by 5-4 goals. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, and it's coming from Psalms 19, verse 14, and it reads, May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, Lord, my rock and my redeemer. That's all we could accommodate for you on the news tonight. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. Remember to observe the COVID-19 health guidelines to stop the spread of the COVID-19. Good night. Thanks for watching.